What's good, homies? This is Chris with the Small Hat Crew, joined today by Small Hat Nick, and... God damn it. Alright, I'm back. Food's on the counter. But as I was saying, and Small Hat Brandon.
Oh, we're keeping that one in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Small Hat Brandon! Woo!
He's
Your
not
own
dead,
biggest
yo.
fan. Yeah, no, he's not. He quit One Piece.
I did not quit One Piece, no.
I
In
definitely
fact,
heard that he did.
I went to Orlando and got top 128.
Don't mock him.
Well, I wouldn't even say Orlando. At least that's North America. You said you would have to say you flew to Latin America.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did get 36th place, though, which kind of ticked me off because I was that close to a Kuzan.
You were that close to getting top 36 in a 30-player event.
Yep, that's how many people were in it. Guys.
Yeah. Anyway, we are going to be picking up where we've left off with OP06 leaders, being unbalanced. Well, actually, maybe not unbalanced, but they have definitely been overtuned from the leaders that we're used to seeing OP05 and prior. We've already looked at Yamato. We have looked at Uta. And now we are taking a look at REIJU. Vinsmoke REIJU, blue purple, blurple, 4 life, 5,000 power, Vinsmoke family, Germa66, your turn once per turn. When one of your Dawn cards on the field is returned to your Dawn deck, draw 1 card.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I just want to say, for the record, I disagree with the pronunciation that he...
What were you gonna say, REIJU?
Yeah.
That's fine. I can go either or. I don't really care.
Good card.
I
Yeah.
don't know who this character is, to be fair.
It's
so.
Sanji's sister.
Yeah, Sanji's
Oh, no, I know who they are lore-wise, but, like, I've not gotten that far.
Oh.
We don't have too much on them, but, like, lore-wise and such. But, yeah, good leader.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no, leader sick. I'm good.
I think that God, as a Blurple Croc enjoyer, I think that she I don't know. I kind of think she invalidates him.
100%.
Yeah, I kind of think that now that she exists, I don't have a reason to play Purple Crocodile. I'm gonna be honest.
Like, any purple card that minuses on just gets an additional draw 1 card effect.
Every single card, because Purple Crocodile, it's if you're like lucky, you'll sometimes get the draw of him on your turn, and if you are, it's because you're spending Dawn on another like a card in the process. She is just establishing bodies and then just drawing cards on top of them. And then also, because the effects are more powerful, it was the way they balanced purple was they printed more powerful effects, and to offset it, you would lose curve, so you'd be set back. So now you get the powerful effects, and you draw a card on top of them, and if you have something like 5-cost Kid Blocker on the board, you get the Dawn right back anyway. Like, I think she's kind of... Queen becomes draw 3 trash 1. You know, like, the cards become stupid. Purple's cards become so stupid, and as we've seen in OP05, Purple got so much better. Purple got so much better. And now you just take that, and that was the thing too, because a lot of Purple's new stuff wasn't minusing, it wasn't Dawn minus. It was a lot of it was trying to help with that problem of getting the Dawn back and stuff like that. But then we also have cards that we've talked about in the past, like 7 drop Kid. You become a 6k leader, and every single turn you swing becomes 6k and draw a card. Oh my god. I don't know, boys. Take it away.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
I agree.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no. So pre-set 4, Purple just didn't have good cards. Set 4, but the cards that we've seen for set 5, and we've seen them in play in Japan, Purple gets really good. And now, with this leader, the cards that we have in set 5, like the Kid, for example, and then, I know we haven't revealed them yet, but we will, the cards that we have coming up in this video, this leader's going to be insane, because, I mean, draw a card every turn, basically every turn, and nothing's better in card games than draw power, so
God.
it just doesn't get better.
Yeah, literally... Once you have 5-drop Kid Blocker on your board, her effect basically just becomes once per turn draw card. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous, because it offsets all the downside. You no longer minus, and you don't just minus the Dawn and get it back. You get it back active even. So, like you gain an additional Dawn to even play the turn with. It's gonna be so ridiculous. I guess something we haven't done in a hot little minute. If you were to assign this leader a rating on a scale of 1 to 5, boys.
God, it's really difficult to give them a rating. Everybody remember, by the way, I know we're gonna get a lot of hate in the comments. We always do. Before we see all of the cards. So like, we may give a leader a fucking 2.5 and they end up being a 5. Take
Yeah. Remember when you said that leader wasn't good before we saw all the cards? Like, bro, you think for 2 fucking seconds. Use your head.
Yeah, right? With where we're at now, seeing the other leaders come out and such, I'm gonna say a 4 because she's good, but I feel like we're starting to see a lot of power creep.
Yeah, no, I agree too, because that's the number I was gonna give her as well. I also think she's a 4. The only thing that, like you said, that would keep me from giving her anything higher would be knowing that she's coming out alongside leaders like Yamato, which is just, that leader's just fucking stupid. She's broken. Exactly. She's like, I don't know if this is enough to exist in a climate where Yamato's running around hitting everything for fucking 9k and taking 2 life off of them. Especially with her being a dual life leader, her having 4 life in a set with Yamato is also like, so, Nick.
Yeah, no, so even with the cards that we've seen so far, I do think that this leader is, like you said, it's going to outclass Blurred Bolt Rock. I don't think that Rock, well, not really being viable at all ever, this would replace it if it was.
Put some respect to my boy's name. What are you doing?
I would give this leader at least a 4. It's a generically good effect, especially with the power of purple cards already. Then it can play existing purple cards, Zoro, Juro. It can play the 5-cost Kid blocker, the 7-cost Kid. The game power 9-cost Kaido gives you a pop, a rusher, and a draw card. It's just all around dumb.
Yeah, she has access to what is now, surprisingly, now the new best color in the game is now purple, and that is her. I think
if you 10-drop Luffy, you draw a card.
Yes.
Not to mention, well, like, if I'm gonna have a dual color leader, I want the secondary color to be blue at this point in the game, because blue has access to insane events right now.
Yeah.
I want my second color to be blue, so that's also an insane part of the card.
It's also like, I don't know, kind of crazy to think that just like this leader is so good on paper. It's just Yamato is so powerful that I can't even confidently say I think she'll see play. Like, I think she's amazing and I think she's good. But Yamato is so powerful that while I would think that this leader would see play, if we ended up being wrong and she didn't, I wouldn't even be 100% surprised, because I'd be like, well, I guess it makes sense because Yamato's such a dumb fucking busted leader that, I guess that makes sense. Like I would not be surprised if she turned out to be like a dud because she couldn't compete with a leader that's running around taking 2 life off of everybody and then on top of it giving 2 Dawn to everything. Like,
have you reviewed Yamato on the channel yet, by the way?
Yeah, we did.
This is our last video. Yeah, it was just me and Nick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess with you here, Brandon, what are your thoughts on that leader?
No, I mean, from what we've seen, and we even watched a YouTube video of, today of somebody like play testing it with just the current cards, not even set 6 cards, of course, because we don't know what the heck they are, and the deck was beating people in like freaking 4 turns. It's not gonna be a fun game state. It's a 5. The leader is a 5.
The leader's insane. Oh my god.
Putting, first of all, the cards that we've seen as well that go into it, but putting a better red Luffy effect on it, and then putting a double attack leader that has access to green, so it has access to all the rest cards. It honestly, it played like a way better Zoro. It was stupid.
Oh, it's crazy too. Like, that leader is so. The majority of the comments on the video where we talked about Yamato are people talking about how like OP06 might be them leaving the game. There was one comment from one guy who's like, I think you're just overhyping her. I was like, what the fuck?
Nah.
Are we not looking at the same card? Are you crazy?
It's not overhyped. Like, it just means either that's going to be the new Whitebeard for 3 or 4 more sets, like Whitebeard was the meta for 3 sets, or the power creep is going to be insane, which I don't like. Like I was telling you guys today, I like really powerful cards. I don't like really powerful leaders. Because then it invalidates all the leaders from the sets before.
Yeah.
And I like to switch up my leader, but I don't know. if anything, it's always going to be a good collector's game, so whatever.
People were trying to draw comparisons between Yamato and Bello Betty, saying that
Not even close.
people were trying to draw comparisons, saying, well, everybody thought that leader would be broken, and look at her. So I don't think Yamato's gonna be. It's like Bello Betty had a good effect. She was a good leader with access to a broken card that she has to see on curve. If she sees it on curve, she wins the game. She's not gonna consistently, or she's not even guaranteed to see that card on curve. If she doesn't see that card on curve, you're just playing a red yellow leader with a good effect. You know, you're just playing a good leader. What makes Yamato broken is right there on the leader itself. Bello Betty has to see Karasu to be able to be broken, whereas Yamato is always there at every moment, just threatening you with double attack and moving to Dawn. She has 2 broken effects. Like, she is so, it's not even close to being the same comparison. Bello Betty is a good leader with access to a broken card. Yamato is the broken card.
Yep.
Like, she doesn't have to hope she sees it or draw into it, or it's always there. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't interact with it. You know, because like Kurasu was, once he's off the board, you're just playing against Bello Betty again. There's no getting rid of Yamato. She's just there, you know? So I think that's, go for it.
Just for the record, for people like wondering, like, oh, you know, blockers aren't a thing against this deck, because with the ability that you give 2 Dawn to something, you're going to have your Okiku on board that you then give the 2 rested Dawn to, because everything Land of Wano is now searchable, because yellow and green, both Land of Wano,
Yep.
You have Momo. I mean, from the gameplay that we saw of it, it just wasn't fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, green just taps down all the blockers. Between Okiku, between Izo, between, what's the one cost event where they just tap stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Totsugo.
And
Between
I think that's
that-
an Wano card, too, if I'm not mistaken.
It is
Yes.
a card.
We have Carrot, like, and all these cards are all, and every single example we have just named, because I just named 4. Those are all Wano, and not a single one of those was non-Wanos. They're all
Wait.
searchable off Momo.
Carrot. What carrot?
Is it not 4? Is there not a 4-cost 6k carrot with no counter that taps to 6 or less?
No,
It's
that's
Yamato.
Yamato. Carrot's the 2K,
Oh, it is. It's another Yamato. Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, it's the
I thought it
4-drop.
was carrot. I thought it was like
Basically,
Suwon
they
carrot.
And the people would be like playing 4-drop Yamato, tapping something down, then doing leader ability to put 2 of the Dawn on their Okiku on the board, tapping down another blocker, and then you just lose the game. It just doesn't seem fun to play, but, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we've used the majority of this video just discussing a leader that's not even in the video.
Yeah.
But so I guess we'll go ahead and we'll segue into the actual topic of this video. Now we've talked about the leader, we'll go ahead and start talking about some of the cards, or I guess all of the cards that have been revealed up to this point at the time of recording. We have Vinsmoke Yonji. That Yon is 4 in Japanese. Purple character, cost 4, power 5,000, strike, Vinsmoke family, Germa66. If you have less Dawn on your field than the opponent, this opponent has plus 1,000 power, 1k counter. Yeah, so he's a 4-cost 6k, so he's a vanilla with counter, basically? Is that pretty much it?
Vanilla with counter blocker. I mean, vanilla.
Oh, he's
blocker.
I didn't notice the blocker.
Yeah,
I don't think I
he's
said
blocker.
blocker, or maybe.
Oh yeah, I
don't
didn't
know.
notice it either. No, you didn't.
Okay, yeah.
So 4/6
we
blocker then.
that's good actually. That's pretty good.
I agree.
For a call, and would you just have to have lust on the opponent?
Yep.
Which I don't see how you wouldn't with a leader
Okay.
that is encouraging you to minus your Dawn.
The only leader that could compete with you in having a small amount of Dawn would be Red Purple Law.
That's what I was gonna say too. I also think that. I think he's a good card. A 4-cost 6k leader is actually kind of insane.
6k character.
I would give him.
Blocker, yeah.
I'm thinking a 3.5. Yeah, with blocker. Yeah. A 3.5.
So, the only reason I'm going to give him a 3 is vanilla stats on blockers, especially in purple, is kind of becoming the norm. I don't know.
Yeah, when you
It's
can
not-
play the 5/6 and it's just a blocker
think
that ramps
so?
you Dawn back.
Yeah. So, I think it's...
The
That's
5/6
true.
Queen, and Queen draws you 3 cards instead.
Well, if he follows the trend of all the other ones, though, if there's gonna be a little version of him that like powers up into the big one, because from all the ones we've been seeing so far,
Well,
there's
not a
little
big
versions of them.
He's not a big one, though. Like,
That's
I
true.
want to...
Well, yeah, no, he is, because the little ones
he's
are
suited
them
up.
in their regular clothing, and then the big ones are them in their raid suits. they like
Right.
power up into their raid suits.
Right. So just my rating on him is even a 2.5 to be honest.
Oh
just
god,
because-
I was
Well,
No, I'd
you're
say
talking
minimum
purple.
3.5.
You're talking purple, which is now one of the strongest colors. And 4 Dawn is a very competitive Dawn slot. I don't know if I'm ever playing this, if I'm ever like super happy to play this on 4 Dawn.
the only thing, because I was gonna meet you. I was gonna come down to a 3 also, but then you fucking went down to 2.5. But I'm gonna come down to 3 because I do think as a blocker he is competing with a blocker like Queen, for example, that actually triggers the leader ability. Because he's just a blocker. He doesn't really do anything outside of being a blocker. He doesn't advance your game state or anything. He's just a blocker. With damn good stats though is the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nick, what are you gonna give him?
I said a 3.5.
Oh, you said
I think it's-
3.5 minimum, right? Okay.
Yeah. It's a
Also-
4-drop 6k blocker. I don't see it being bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
I know, I agree. I don't know how tight the deck's gonna be or whatever. If I don't know, because I think she's obviously running Queen and she's obviously running Kid blocker, so I don't know how many mid-range blockers are gonna like commit deck space to. is the
Right.
thing.
I also do want to say this deck is going to play very different if you're running these cards, because all of these cards require you to have less Dawn than your opponent. You have to play into having less Dawn.
Yeah.
And that means like this 4 drop is really like your opponent is now dropping a 6 or a 7 drop on their turn. So you
Yeah.
have to take that into account.
That's true. You're right. Actually, I didn't think about that. Vinsmoke REIJU. Purple character, cost 4, 5,000 power. Special. Vinsmoke family, Germa66. On play, if you have less Dawn on your field than your opponent, and if you have 5 or less cards in your hand, draw 2. So she is just, if you have less Dawn, on play, pot agreed. And she has 1,000 counter.
Card's gonna be not so.
Yeah, she's good. She's good. She's really good. On play, draw 2, no downside. This card's great. I'm gonna give her a 4.5. I can't picture not. Especially because there's another card, there's a little version of her that floats back into this from the discard pile.
Yep.
Like,
And
I
it minuses
think-
Dawn to do it, so you're at less Dawn than your opponent.
oh yeah, it enables even.
But you do have to do it twice if you're playing the like less than 10 Dawn game.
It's not less than 10, you just have to have less than your opponent.
Well, right, but what I'm saying is, let's say, you know, if you're normal game state before you guys hit 10 Dawn, whenever you draw, you're always, if no one ramped any Dawn or minus any Dawn, you're 1 Dawn above your opponent. Which means for this to take effect, you have to essentially have minus 2 Dawn by the time this hits the board.
Which is not hard to do in purple.
No, it's not hard to do, but then you're playing with
But it's
2
worth
your
consideration.
opponent
I
throughout the
agree.
game. Definitely worth consideration, which is why I would not say
She's
4
only a
Dawn.
4 cost.
Right, but again,
Well, I think that would work
Or-
against, because it would be harder to be below your opponent earlier in the game.
right,
Because
so
I
this-
think once you establish things like 7-drop Kid, for example, it becomes easier. But
right.
You know.
This deck really doesn't pop off early from what I'm thinking.
yeah, because
Seeing?
I'm assuming the way I think she plays, because I don't think you'd be below your opponent in the beginning. I think you would just discard her for counter, and then later in the game you float into her from the
Get
discard
her
pile.
back, right?
Yeah.
For 2 Dawn. So if we had not seen the 2 Dawn cards, like if we had done the reveal before, then I would probably give this like honestly a 3. With seeing the 2-drop card, I'd
give
go
this a
more
4.
towards like a 3.75 around that area.
I'm just gonna give her a 4. I think I'm gonna match her cost. I'm gonna give her that 4. Gave the leader a 4. Yeah, I don't know. It just makes too much sense to me to give it a 4. So
Let's hit my knee again. No, with the way
Nick?
that purple plays, it definitely.
I'll give it a 4.
While you're on 10 Dawn, this card, like when you and your opponent are both at 10, this card's gonna be amazing, especially with the 2-drop.
yeah.
While we're talking about the leader for 30 minutes.
Okay, let's move on to our next cards then.
Hey,
Next we have Vinsmoke Ichiji. Purple character, cost 7, power 7,000, strike, Vinsmoke family, Germa66. On play, if you have less Dawn on the field than your opponent, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power for this turn, and gain rush. So,
he got a B, right?
It's a 7/7. I like it. He has a little mini formula.
yeah.
Yeah, the
I like it a
4.
lot.
I like this card. See, the minus 2,000, why does he do that? Why does purple do that sometimes? I don't like that at all. I hate that they are stepping on red's territory. Well, actually, he is the red
is
one.
red.
Yeah. That is true.
Isn't he the blue one? Oh no, we're looking.
No.
That makes sense.
Because yeah, he's the red one. It does make sense.
No counter. 7 drop. So if
So
we
he's a
had not seen the mini,
Right.
I would honestly give this card like a 2. To be completely honest, if we did not see the mini for it, I'd give him a 2. However, being no counter, still needing to minus Dawn, and at this point either being at 10 Dawn or having -2, I still think he's like a 2.5.
So, I think he is a clean 3. I mean, he does cost 7, which I guess would be more expensive also in a deck where you're behind in Dawn, you know?
But again, 7/7, like, he's like an L, he's like Ace.
Right, but I think
it's good.
Because NL, I think the power of NL is the fact that he doesn't get removed by anything. His stat line, I thought, was the most underwhelming part about him. I think he's broken now that Yamato's making him a 9K. Is
And
the thing.
Ace guarantees that you're killing 2 bodies.
But he's also kind of doing the same, though, because Yamato pumped NL by 2K. He's lowering something by 2K. I think the problem with that, though, is that you can't, like, minus the leader 2K and swing. So you are still 7. You're just magic number at the end of the day. I think this card's great for fighting for board and everything. I actually like this card a lot, but I do think that he is a 3. I think he'll brick sometimes. Then again, also, you do just discard him, and then that's I don't know. I don't.
Rush.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think as well. I think this card is good. I don't think this card is like a 4 though. You know, I don't think this card is Pot of Greed sitting in the discard pile waiting to be used. Levels of good. I think this card is a worse ace actually.
I guess put him like side by side with his mini, and we can talk about, because when we talk about it, right? If you're doing all of that for 7 Dawn, whatever. If you're doing all of this for 4 Dawn, that's a different story.
Yeah, that's a very different story. Yeah, because without the mini, he is just a worse ace. Because ace comes out and lowers 2 things by 3K, and then he rushes.
Yeah.
This guy has a condition to lower something by 2K and then rush.
Yeah.
You know. So he is a worse ace, but if you are able to play ace for 4 Dawn, that's a very different story. So, I don't know. I'll give him a 3, and when we read the mini, I might change my rating. I don't know.
I'll give him a 3 as well.
Okay, so then we have Vinsmoke Niji, purple character, cost 5, power 6,000, Vinsmoke family, Germa66. On play, if you have less Dawn in your field than the opponent, choose one of the following. KO up to one of your opponent's characters that cost 2 or less. Okay. Return up to one of your opponent's characters that cost 4 or less to their owners. I don't like this card. I do like the versatility
really
of it.
Yeah, it has purple and blue effects on it, which is kind of interesting for a purple-blue leader.
Yeah.
We have not seen a mini for him yet, by the way, as well. Like, if his mini is 2-drop, significantly better.
Right.
He does have counter. Yeah, I'm not a huge...
I will say, while we were on the topic of Ichiji, because outside of like a 0, actually no, you'll need like a 0 cost event or like a queen or something. I will say him not having counter does make him the hardest one to get into the discard pile. You do have to kind of jump through hoops to make it happen, to cheat him out.
That is valid, yeah, because that's...
Because the rest of them, you just discard them, you know, for counter, but that's worth consideration,
But you
I
can
guess.
play it from hand or trash.
Oh, that's true. That is true. Well, yeah, I guess. How do the minis work? Do the minis trash themselves to play the bigger one, or
Yeah,
are they?
you have to play it -1 Dawn, trash the character.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they minus the Dawn to do it.
Yes,
That's good.
but
I
that
thought it was
means
just
that
REIJU.
you have to basically do 2 of them, and then you'll be less Dawn than your opponent.
But again, it's purple-blue. It has access to the 0 cost event, so everything has counter if you want to think about it.
Well, that's why I mentioned the 0 cost, because I think realistically, outside of Queen, I think that's the only way you're getting it in the discard. Is the thing. I didn't really think about how the minis, because I thought it was just REIJUs that enabled, but if his mini is also minusing a Dawn to turn him into a rusher, that's also a lot. Well, we'll just keep talking about these till we get to the minis then. Vinsmoke Niji. Okay, so I'm gonna give this card like a 2.5. I don't care for it.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
I like the utility. I'd give it a 3.
He's either KOing a 2 or bouncing a 4. if his mini cost 4 or less, then that's better because you're spending 4 to bounce a 4 and play a body in the process. Depending on the mini, it just changes everything. It depends on how much it's going to cost.
Well, it seems like the mini is like plus or minus half, because like the 7 mini is a 4, the 4 mini is a 2. With his mini, it would probably be either 2 or 3.
God, they're so hard to rate.
They really are. Like, to be honest with you, like, chat, whatever, viewers, subscribers,
homies.
The way I think this deck is played is basically do 2 of these abilities early. Like, the REIJU is a 2-drop, so I think you typically want to go second, do 2 of the abilities early, and it's almost like you're not playing with less Dom than your opponent, because then you're playing a 4-drop for 2 Dom that draws you cards. So I don't know. It's a weird freaking this deck.
Yeah.
Weird.
Like, what I find interesting too, though, is like one of the cards that made purple so much better is a card like 5-drop Kid Blocker, because every time you ramp a Dawn, you minus a Dawn, you ramp it back active.
Mm-hmm.
That card is so good that I can't picture you not running it. But then that card also kind of is very counterproductive to what you want to do with this leader.
Yeah.
Because if you are running her Vinsmoke or Germa66 cards, if Kid Blocker's on the board, you're never going to get any of their effects off.
Yeah, it really does feel like this deck is going to be high roll as shit. Like, it either does really well or it does nothing. From what we've seen, though, again, we've only seen like 4 or 5 of the cards, but that's the way it kind of seems. And then I just want to see the mirror match when you're both trying to get less Dom than each other.
The ramp effect off the Kid Blocker is optional. You can choose not to do it.
I do, whenever I think about how you would build this leader, I picture her without any of the Germa66 cards.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be a green-purple Dofi where we're sitting here rating it.
Yeah.
Actually, I just thought about it. So with the way that this card game works, so say you have a Kid Blocker, you play one of the minis, you minus it on, play the character. Because you're a turn player, you can choose which effect resolves first, so you can use the on-play effects, which you have less on at the time, and then ramp after the fact.
Okay. I do like that. I also feel though like I feel like by playing Kid Blocker and not using his effect until you're getting one of these abilities off, it almost makes it feel like all of these little guys will be vanillas until like turn 4 or 5.
Yeah. I do want to say though, I kind of wish that the leader was Judge. Vince Judge.
I don't like that. I am glad that they put the fan service one on though.
No.
Yeah. Did we all sign a rating to Niji?
Yeah, I gave him a 3, I think.
2.
Yeah, and then Chris gave him 2.5. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we'll move on to now we're at the minis. Okay. Vinsmoke EGG, purple character, 4 cost 4,000 power, 1k counter, Vinsmoke family, Germa66, activate main, Dawn -1. You may trash this character if your leader has the Germa66 type. Oh, I didn't know they were like locked. Okay, so you have to play them with her, or if anything else that comes out in the future. If we ever get like a Sanji, moving forward, that is purple, blue purple. No, she's blue purple. That's right. But you may play up to 1 cost 7 Vinsmoke EGG from your hand or trash. I do like that it says up to.
Why, you're gonna kill itself for no ability and
I'm not
-1
gonna
on?
trash this shit for
Well, no, because I had to think about how, because I was thinking, because if they print more EGGs, besides that one, if there's like a lower one with counter or something, you could potentially grab that with this guy.
Well, no, it's specific.
But no, that's why I changed my mind on that. Yeah, no, I know. That's why I stopped. Because
from what we've seen, remember, like cards that specifically need another card typically haven't done very, very well.
That's what I was just about to get into, because I was gonna say this deck looks a lot, because this deck basically turns into
a lot, though.
This deck turns into Ice Oni the deck, where half the cards don't do anything unless you have the other. I mean, now that they can be in the discard, that really like helps with that. But like, I don't know. I think this one.
Gimmick.
Yeah, I think gimmick is the perfect way to describe it. I think that he would be the most fun of all of, or not the most fun. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say the worst of the minis, because
4-drop mini was kind of expensive.
A 4-cost mini is expensive, and also like I think he'll be the brickiest of all the minis because he's probably the one that's least likely to go off, since his takes the most setup. You know, getting the 7 cost in the discard. You know, you have a 0 cost event
no,
or
you
queen,
can
or
play
you
it from
don't.
hand also. It can be played from
Or
hand.
the hand, that's right. I keep forgetting or the hand. And even then, that seems... Because that's now... You're negging so much for that.
Yep.
That's
It just
2
seems
cards
like
out the hand.
You know, every set gets a...
Yeah, but if they, you know, if you played one already, basically, like, we need to see a Vinsmoke Searcher or a Germa66 Searcher.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you play a 7 cost already, and then it dies, then you can play this, bring back the 7 cost. Hey, look, it has Rush Burr.
God, you know what would make this deck insane, I think? If their Searcher was, like, look at top 3, add 1 hand, trash the rest. If their Searcher was Rebecca...
Yeah.
That helps immensely because it fuels the discard for these guys.
Just play Nami cards and mill yourself out like Zephs and shit.
Yeah. So far, the way it's going, I still very much think that it's gonna have a Doflamingo effect. Just play generic fucking purple and blue cards.
I think so too. I don't know. I don't know if you would play these guys. I'm gonna give him like a 2. I don't like him. I don't know.
We'll see.
I'm iffy on his big version, so I'm iffy on him. You know,
I like his big version.
Yeah. For now, I agree with the 2, and I think when we see all of the Germa66 cards, we come back and like rate the whole package.
Yeah, because it's harder right now,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, why not just make the video once they all come out? I think that the point of this video is not to tell you what is good and what is not. This is us fucking around and having fun.
Yeah.
And the fun is trying to predict how things play out and being able to come back and revisit it and see where we fucked up.
Yeah.
So if you are treating this video as anything else, that is a skill issue on your part.
For real.
So I gave it a 2, Brandon gave it a 2. Nick, did you also rate it?
I gave it a 2.5 because I like the gimmick.
2.5. Oh, the gimmick's cool. I do think that this would be one of the most fun decks to play.
Oh,
all right,
Power
Vince.
Rangers.
Yeah, I love the flavor of them transforming into their raid suits. Vinsmoke REIJU, purple character, 2 cost 2000 power, counter 1000, Vinsmoke family Germa66. Activate main, Don -1, you may trash this character. If your leader has the Germa66 type, you may play up to 1 cost 4 Vinsmoke REIJU from your hand or trash.
I am never trashing this card. God damn.
God, why are One Piece fans so fucking horny? I hate this series.
This is probably my favorite card that's been revealed for Germa66 in all honesty. 2 drop, so you can do this on turn 1 if you go second. It has a 1k counter, and it gives you the one that is going to draw you cards. If you do this on your first turn, of course it won't go off, but afterwards, this card has potential.
A 2 cost 5k draw 2 is insane.
Yep.
Yeah, this is, like, you definitely hold this card. And yeah, I think she'd be the best of them also. While I think the whole package itself is very gimmicky, I think if you are playing the package, that I agree this is the best card. And I think in the context of playing Germa66, I think she would be like, I was going to say a 4, but she doesn't actually do anything on her own. I'm going to say she's a 3.5.
Yeah, I'd agree with 3.5. Again, until we see, like, this deck, the only way that you play Germa in this deck is if it gets one hell of a Searcher that plays exactly into how the deck needs it.
Yeah.
It has to have a Searcher that trashes, but I can agree 3.5.
Because none of the previous purple card pool assist with this win condition at all, like, not even remotely.
Yeah. I feel like you could play 4 copies of the 4 cost 5k one that draws 2, and then 2 copies of this, and it's like playing 6 copies of that.
Yeah, literally the only like pre-existing purple cards that assist with this are Queen, because it discards, and the 0 cost event. And outside of that, this is so counterproductive to what purple is usually doing. And like you know, it's so counterproductive too when OP06 or OP05 was all about fixing purple's problems, about them taking themselves off of curve and stuff like that. Meanwhile, this leader does not want to stay on curve at all, because if you are on curve, you are being punished. So,
and for all we know, though, they could get a super of Germa like 6/6 or Judge that like plays a 2-drop and a 4-drop from trash, and then all of a sudden, boom.
You know what's funny?
To great fucking deck.
So you know what would be very funny to think about? What if this deck got the inverse of Onigashima? Once per turn, tap this card -1 Dawn.
That would be awful. You'd only ever want to do it once. That would be such a bad card. No. I don't like it. But no, I definitely think like with what we have right now, the base that we have, gimmick deck. But with 1 or 2 cards that like work with it and like 1 or 2 cards can bring it from gimmick to actual deck. Or it just might stay a gimmick deck.
I was gonna say I think it's still a gimmick deck.
I don't know, man.
A competitive, well, that competitive gimmick, I don't know if that's even like really a thing, but
yeah, there's competitive gimmick decks.
like what?
No, there's not.
Yeah, name one.
No, this is on you. The onus is on you.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I think we'll go ahead and review the yellow Wano cards next. So stay tuned if you want to see, because I think some of them, or at least one of them, I don't remember what any of them do aside from one, but it's so fucking dumb what it does that I am scared for Yamato as a leader. I think that bitch gets banned. I'm gonna be so real.
First band leader, let's go.
Yeah, first band lead. It should have been Whitebeard, honestly. It should have just been Whitebeard. But with that being said, if none of the boys back home have anything to say,
Nope.
then with that being said, until next time, we will see you guys. Take care.
Later.
Hey, wait.
Oh, what? You said no!
What about the other 3 cards?
Are
Yeah,
there
we're doing
more?
those next. We're the 3 Wano cards.
Oh, no, I'm gonna do those
You
separate.
just said we're doing those next.
I said stay tuned.
Okay.
That's
Stay
like a different
tuned.
video.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
All right.
Stay tuned.